Some journeys begin with a single step, but some journeys begin with a single heartbeat. And when I said, "Welcome to my country," I wasn't inviting you to a place. I was inviting you to me. The day you said you were coming, my whole world changed. Not the streets, not the skies, but something deep inside my chest. Something that had been quiet for too long. Something that suddenly woke up, as if it had been waiting for you all its life. I looked out of my window that morning. The sun was soft, the air filled with a warmth that felt new. And for the first time, the city I had lived in for years looked different, brighter, more alive, almost as if it knew you were coming closer. My heart whispered to me, "She's coming. She's coming to your land, to your world, to your arms you still don't have the courage to hold her with." I walked out of the house, every step shaking with excitement. The roads I traveled every day suddenly felt like roads leading to destiny. Every breeze felt like it carried your perfume. Every moment reminded me you were coming to my country, to my world, to me. You sent a message. "I'm nervous. I've never been there before." And I smiled, because I wanted to reply, "Don't be nervous. My country will love you, because I love you." But I didn't say it. I typed the simple lie instead. "Don't worry. You'll be fine." Fine. You were about to walk into the place where my entire heart lived. Nothing about it was fine. It was everything. The day passed slowly. The clock felt cruel. Every minute stretched like an hour. Every hour stretched like a lifetime. I went to the airport hours early. I walked around the arrival gate, hands trembling, heart pounding so hard. I thought people around me could hear it. The screens flashed flight numbers. Your flight wasn't even close yet. But my eyes were already searching for you. In every face, walking through the glass gates. I sat down, but I couldn't stay still. I stood again, looked at the doors again, checked my phone again. Nothing. The world was moving, but I was stuck in one moment, the moment right before you arrive. Time passed, slowly, painfully, until the screen finally displayed your flight. Arrived. My breath caught. My heart felt too big for my chest. People started coming out. Families hugged. Friends laughed. Couples cried. And I stood there, hands cold, sweat on my forehead, fear and excitement fighting inside me. And then I saw you. The world stopped. My body forgot how to breathe. You walked slowly, looking around, like a child seeing a new world for the first time. And in that moment, I realized something. My country had never looked beautiful until you stepped into it. You saw me. Your eyes widened slightly, and your lips curved into a small, shy smile. And that smile destroyed me, completed me, created me again. I walked toward you, or maybe I floated. I still don't know. But I reached you, and you whispered, "Hi." A simple word, but the soft way you said it was enough to break every wall inside me. I wanted to say so many things, but all I managed was, "Welcome. Welcome to my country." You laughed lightly. Your eyes sparkled. And then you said something that will stay with me forever. "I feel safe here. Safe. With me. In my country." And suddenly, everything in my life made sense. We walked outside. The sky was golden. The air warm. People around us busy with their own lives. But for me, the world had narrowed down to just you. As we walked, I kept stealing glances, your hair catching the sunlight, your eyes exploring everything, your smile growing wider. Every time something new amazed you, I wanted to tell you how beautiful you looked in my world, how perfectly you fit here, how the city itself seemed to blush just by your presence. But I stayed quiet. My heart screamed, but my lips stayed sealed. Then you turned to me with that innocent, calm expression and said, "Can you show me your favorite place?" I swallowed. My favorite place? It wasn't a monument, or a garden, or a building. My favorite place was wherever you stood. But I nodded and said, "Yes, I'll take you." We walked side by side, close enough to feel each other's warmth, but not close enough to feel each other's hearts. Not yet, not today, but someday, someday soon. I took you to the riverside. The water shimmered in the fading light. Birds flew overhead, and you stood there quietly, breathing it all in. I stood beside you, pretending to look at the river, but my eyes were only on you. You whispered, "It's beautiful," and I whispered in my heart, "Only because you are here." Night fell, lights lit up the sky, and you looked up, eyes shining like stars. Then, something happened I'll never forget. You leaned your head on my shoulder, just slightly, just softly, just enough to set my soul on fire. And in a voice so gentle it broke me, you said, "I'm glad I came." I closed my eyes, because if I had looked at you, I would have said everything. Everything I wasn't ready to confess. Everything my heart was screaming. You didn't know. Not yet. But when I said, "Welcome to my country," I meant something deeper, something truer, something only love can understand. I meant, "Welcome to my heart." And as the night settled, and your head rested on my shoulder, I realized this was only the beginning. You came to see my country, but you didn't know. You were becoming the most beautiful place inside my heart. Your head rested lightly on my shoulder. The night wind brushed against us, carrying the soft perfume of the river, the distant laughter of people, the quiet hum of the city. But all I could hear was the sound of your breath. All I could feel was the warmth of your presence. All I could think was how unreal you felt. Right here, beside me. You whispered, "Is this where you come when you're sad?" I looked at the water, then at your eyes, reflecting the lights like trembling stars. "Yes," I said, "this is where I come when the world becomes too heavy." You nodded softly, as if you understood every unspoken ache inside me. Then you whispered, "Thank you for bringing me here." You didn't know what those words did to me. You didn't know how long I had waited for you to be here, in this place where I had cried alone 1,000 nights, and now you stood here, turning all my sadness into something warm, something gentle, something almost holy. We walked along the riverbank. Your fingers brushed mine, just barely, just enough to make my heart forget its rhythm. You didn't pull away. I didn't pull away. Maybe neither of us wanted to. Finally, you said, "Show me more." And I did. I showed you the small food stalls that only opened at night, where the lights were warm and the spices filled the air. You took a bite of the food, eyes watering from the spice, and laughed so hard that the shopkeeper laughed with you. "Too spicy?" I asked. You shook your head, still laughing. "This is perfect." And in that moment, I realized joy had never looked so beautiful until it was on your face. We kept walking. The streets glowed golden, the sky darker, the distance between us smaller. You stopped suddenly. "Take a picture with me," you said. My heart froze. "A picture? With you?" You stood close, your shoulder touching mine, your hair brushing my cheek, and for a moment, I forgot how to breathe. The photo clicked. You looked at it, smiled, and said, "This is my favorite one." You didn't know it was my favorite too. Not because of the background, not because of the lights, but because it was the first moment my world and yours stood together in a single frame. Hours passed like seconds. We talked, we laughed, we walked through the night as if we had known each other for lifetimes before this one. And then you asked a question I wasn't ready for. "Why did you really invite me here?" My breath stopped. The world blurred. I felt the truth rise inside me, dangerous and raw. I could have lied. I could have said anything. But the look in your eyes demanded honesty. So I said softly, "Because I wanted you to see where my heart lives." You blinked. You didn't speak. But the silence between us changed, softened, deepened. We reached the old bridge, lights from the city shimmering on the water. You stood against the railing, wind playing with your hair, your eyes glowing like warm lanterns. And then you said something that shook every piece of my soul. "I like it here, with you." My heart burst open. Every wall inside me fell apart in a second. You turned your face away shyly. You didn't know how close I was to pulling you into my arms, how close I was to telling you every truth I had buried. We stood in silence for a long time, a beautiful silence, a heavy silence, a silence that felt like the beginning of something real. Finally, you said, "Can we come back here tomorrow?" Tomorrow. You wanted a tomorrow with me. That single word was enough to make my entire world light up. "Yes," I said, "we can." You smiled, the kind of smile a man remembers for the rest of his life. We walked back slowly. You were tired. I was terrified. Terrified of the day ending. Terrified of losing this moment. Terrified of how deeply I was falling for you. When we reached your hotel, you turned to me and said, "Today was one of the best days of my life." I felt something warm break inside me. Not pain. Something else. Something sweeter. "I'm glad," I whispered. You stepped closer. So close. I could feel your breath on my skin. "Good night," you said softly. But before turning away, you added one more sentence. "I'm happy I came to your country." And just like that, you disappeared into the elevator, leaving me standing there, with a heart overflowing and a soul trembling. I walked home under the quiet sky, every step replaying your words, your smile, your touch, your presence.